I think that's a fine defense from LGD. It just shows you that they understand how close this game can be, but they will still hold. The big thing about that team fight is that they blew up the Wisp so quick that she wasn't able to get off the mech. If she got off the mech, that was a different team fight altogether. Your PA wasn't at 2 HP, so she could still stick in it and start fighting a long time.
They also don't have to pipe. That's the other big thing.
Yeah,
pipe is there.
Well.
A lot of that damage is nuke damage, and that's where maybe Wisp lives long enough to use the mech. Completely different fight.
Right, so if Rising Stars end up losing this game, which I still think they were heavily favored to win this, you just go back to Asher's decision. Hey, should we have actually waited for that pipe? But you know, that's a question for 30.
We'll save that for the post game if it comes to that. For the time being, LGD. Well, they've gotten the lanes pushed out a bit. They're going to try and hang on here. Sylar, up to 550 gold. Radiance, you get this item to farm the next item. We'll see a Shadow Blade on air. He's going to lead the way. He will find Yao. He'll get in range. There is a Beastmaster Roar. Spectre no haunt, however. Beautiful bird micro. The familiar stopping air from giving chase. They'll vacuum Yao back regardless. Can they kill him off? In comes Xiao Tuji. There's your BKB. Wall thrown down. Pretty ineffective wall, to say the least. They do get the lone druid kill. The familiar's gonna fall to imps. I actually didn't realize those worked on them.
Very, very good time to push right now. The mech is down for Xiao. I'm very surprised that he actually did not use a Beastmaster Roar. You stun the PA that's in BKB, but the pushback ability also will actually rescue the bear. I'm not too sure what he's saving it for.
There you go onto DDC. Are the familiar stuns available? They are not being used yet. Here comes Dragon Knight. Down goes DDC. Tether is there. The familiar stuns have been used. Sylar on the backside will pick off the Enchantress, but is that enough? That's the question. Rising Stars, they'll back off. They're a little bit worried about this engage. No, it's actually Satuji jumping in. He wants another kill. He's still got that Aegis. Surged away. Now he blinks back. Familiar, number 1. Oh, number 2, not going to go down. Miss from the low ground. So Rising Stars still unable to crack this base. But Lumi, they're starting to find a lot of kills. Aegis about to go down. This is where if you're Rising Stars, you're getting a lot of gold. You're pulling further and further ahead. You back off, and you wait for Roche number 2.
I mean, I think LG's winning this.
Oh, come on.
I'm saying this, 1,400. Look, if I'm going to be wrong, that's fine. But
14,000.
14,000. I think they're okay. Like, as crazy as my sounds, I think they could hold long enough.
Problem is, there's no item progression. They have this Radiance on Sylar, up to 1,300 gold. That's nice, but that's it. It's only the Spectre has, and Spectre has to buy items. Can't save for buyback because they're not winning these fights with the current inventory levels on him. Xiao 8, just the mech hasn't progressed from there at all, not one bit. Visage here that benefits a lot from farm, still just a bracer and earn. He's not progressing, and you look towards Yao's Lone Druid. He's gone even for a magic stick because, well, any items he can buy now are going to be helpful. Just an armlet Lone Druid. So they're hanging on. Perhaps they can take it late, but Rising Stars, they're still doing the right things. They're getting hero kills. They're not overextending. They've chipped away at the tower. They still have decent map control, and their items are progressing a lot.
I'm agreeing with everything you say, and by all metrics, LGD is so far behind, but there's this hero called Spectre, and she does magical things. There's a bash up on PA now, and with BKB and Basher, you could actually just focus on the Spectre and kill her quick. I believe that Spectre, as well as Xiao 8's play, is going to be the X Factor. Xiao 8, as long as he doesn't get caught out, his war is so damn important. Again, not only locking down the PA, but also the pushback 50% slow on everybody. That's a huge deal for Sylar.
Here comes Rising Stars. It's actually going to be a Shadow Blade Air who leads the way. They vacuum in Sylar. He's dropping fast. Imps come through. Is he going to be able to live? That's the question. The familiar micro, not enough to keep him alive. He does a buyback. I think he'll use it now if they keep on going in. Xiao Tuji, well, he's used his BKB early. No BKB available. They'll have to be a bit more careful. Sylar, buyback is there. Not using it yet. They're trying to bait this fight. The buyback comes now. Roar on air. Rising Stars, have they overextended? They're going to lose the Dragon Knight. The Impale catches Mopey. He'll go down too. That's 2 heroes dead. Sylar out for blood, out for more kills. It's a headlong retreat from Rising Stars. Can they get away? Vendetta DD. He's got the magic stick charges. He does have enough for an Impale if he pops them, but can't get in range. Still chasing, still hunting.
Oh,
Super
dagger.
on the run. There's your dagger. Wisp. Nope. It does have a buyback. Not buying back. Doesn't feel it's going to help. He throws out the slow. Gets surged away. XDD. It might be enough to save his life. Now a pause in the middle of the fight. My goodness. XDD just got rooted. There's still a buyback on Wisp. Lumi, do you use the buyback here? Actually, I guess not, because PA's gone mid.
Yeah, PA doesn't have a teleport scroll, so she could not have go home. I guess you could buy back and relocate and save your Darkseer, but that's really risky. Not really exactly cost effective, because I don't think you really would save it. But in that last team fight, I'm telling you, the power of Spectre, you kill her once, buy back, she's basically ageless anytime she wants. That's kind of...
For Rising Stars, they should know. I mean, at that point, you've used your BKB on the PA, you play it safe, you wait for it to cool down, especially with Roche coming soon. But XDD, he's going to get caught out here, blown up by the Soul Assumption. Well, when it's all said and done, they lose 3 for just the cost of a Sylar buyback. That's a massive win for LGD.
And
but
they
I
didn't
feel
get
this is
tier 3 tower either.
Yeah, I feel this is just the inexperience of Rising Stars showing. As soon as the BKB for the PA is down, that's your big combat item. Basher was on the way. Roshan's coming soon. Not a time when you want to be forcing a low percentage fight. And Spectre, probably the scariest hero in the game if he's got buyback.
I completely agree with you. I think if Rising Star was a little bit more patient, they could have long time sieged it and not make for that big dive. But also the wall was a little bit iffy here because they used it against Sylar, which was decent, and then until that buyback came, and then wall basically did nothing in that team fight. So a little bit of experience plays, and again, LGD's right back in this. Now the next siege is going to be really big for LGD, or for Rising Star, because there is no buyback for Spectre. In the next 5 minutes, you make a big push, and you get a kill on Spectre, you win the game. But here's the thing. Are they going to wait for ages? Like, yeah, we're ahead. We could wait for the Roshan. I don't think you needed Rosh. You just go mid and go win.
Well, let's see if they go for it. There's no item progression on Sylar. He bought back. He got a decent amount of assist gold there, but still under 10k net worth. For Rising Stars, well, they might wait for their BKB on air. That's the one other big item they don't have. But during that time, Spectre's getting more important items. You look at something like a Reaver, maybe even a Yasha, a Diffusal Blade, whatever he wants to go for
Ultimate
here.
Orb. All right.
Oh, picks up the Ultimate Orb.
Extra HP. That's fine. Completely okay.
So you get this. You can go now for a Manta style, and you get the HP first. So Yasha, big downside is that doesn't help you tank.
Yeah, well, it's actually decent in the sense once you have the Manta style.
It could even be an Eye of Skady. It's actually just a ridiculous item on any illusion-based tier because you get so many stats.
That's interesting. I think if he's going for Skadi, he's going to go point booster first.
True.
It's just a little bit more cost-effective. So
it's probably Manta. That's the expected choice, but
right.
I guess there is that plan B.
Yeah, it's decent against Enchantress Enchant. It's okay against Stifling Daggers and whatnot, but it's not a game-winning item. And here comes a Roche attempt. And let's see what does LG do about this. Do they charge in and take a fight, or do they...
We'll see. The one thing that is worth noting that we didn't get to mention in that last engagement was Rising Stars not only lost 3, they also lost a gem. So that was an even bigger economic cost to them. They're still going to go Roche in spite of it. They haven't really done much to D-ward. They're just confident if it comes to a big fight, they'll take it. And for LGD, well, like you said, with no buyback available on Sylar for another 2 minutes, probably not worth the risk. And, well, we're going to see the Aegis. This time it goes on Xiaotuji. It did last time as well. How much longer do they want to wait? Air's BKB is coming soon. The Abyssal Blade for Xiaotuji, assuming he goes for that, is coming soon. Is it worth farming more? That's the question right now. It's a tough call for Rising Stars.
It really is. I mean, you don't want to lose any tower when you're this ahead because any extra gold for LGD, you don't know who is, for example, short for buyback for 200 gold. And suddenly they have it if you drop that tier 1 up top. And the trade-off is that the enemy does have time to farm, but they're just so damn afraid of Wisp right now.
Yeah, that's the beauty of the Wisp pick.
Right.
That's what's keeping LGD in their base.
I talked about the interaction with Sylar being able to hunt out, but if you don't know where the rest of the team is, you hunt towards them and they'll still kill you. And also because PA could bash so easily now, she's like almost better than CK, I want to say. She could just blink, strike in, apply the Tether Stun, and throughout that 2 seconds, she's gonna get a bash, and you're gonna die to those crits. So, yeah.
I'm not really crazy about the way Rising Stars is playing this game, and it's something we've seen a lot from the Asian teams who go Wisp is you have a Phantom Assassin with a BKB. You can push one lane with him, even if they roar you, you're not going to die as long as you get the BKB off. If you're in trouble, Wisp can just send you back to base as well if you're not able to get the BKB off. So I feel like Rising Stars, they could be putting more overall pressure on the lanes, farming with the PA, the Wisp in one lane, you have the other 3 heroes in the other, and it would still be very hard for LGD to make a go. Instead, they're letting LGD get a little bit more than I would like out of these lanes. But in spite of that, we look at the gold graph, we look at the experience graph, and they're still going Rising Stars' way slightly, so still pulling ahead bit by bit.
I'm agreeing with you. I feel like PA is definitely the strongest hero. She goes in, she BKBs, and she is going to just tank through Blur, the armor, as well as Life Steal. But I think they're respecting the power of LG's nuke, because your PA is not going to die. That's no question asked. But your Wisp is going to die. And once the Wisp's dead, I think they can actually converge on and maybe even kill PA, especially if the OP Vibrabore as well as the Entangles are coming out.
I mean, there's a lot of ways to deal with that. PA can just hide in the trees. We saw that's exactly what EGM did, just hide really far behind the PA. So, well, I think they could be a little bit greedier with how far they push out the lanes, but they are keeping them fairly pushed in. They'll farm the Abyssal Blade now in Xiaotuji. That's going to be coming out soon. BKB for air, that's the other big item. It comes in about 150 gold. And I think, we said it before, but I think this is go time.
Yeah.
Once again.
I mean, I'm almost asking myself, what the hell are they waiting for? Like,
It's just those 2 items.
They got those 2 items, right? So.
Well, it's coming now. Xiaotuji up to 4,000 gold.
Abyssal. Okay, so I saw his goal earlier. I was like, oh, he has it, but.
And the BKB on air, that's going to arrive as well.
I almost want to say if you're like Dragonite. No, he's got it.
AUI's going to be happy. It looks like we might be seeing a Rod of Atos here from Mofi.
It's actually really good against PA, especially when the thing is going back to.
Even here, like Spectre.
Oh, sorry. I thought Visage had it.
No, it's
No,
Mofi
yeah,
who's
it's Mofi,
now got the Vitality booster. He'll pick up a Staff of Wizardry, so interesting little pickup from him.
I like it less on Wisp because who are you gonna slow? Who is it gonna be effective? Because once Manta Sal's up,
Well, it helps their tank, right? It's cost-effective HP.
it doesn't actually help you tank any more than a Vid booster does.
That's true, but
so
hey, you get the Vid booster.
I actually think that's a poor Adam choice.
Wow.
I think he should got assigned.
I like it because we got a route of Aoi, and Aoi will be casting later. For the meantime, Rising Stars, they've got the BKB, the Abyssal as well. They'll start to work on this Rax mid. A blink and
Oh my
Insta
God.
bash. The bear drops so incredibly fast. This is a concern for LGD. The bear isn't very durable. The familiars are just free kills, even for Enchantress, who can chip away at them from long range. Rising Stars, I wanted to see them slow and safe siege. If I'm a fan of this team, there's no need to really force a fight.
Well, the Abyssal's up, everything's up, and they're going to be coming right in Sylar, by the way. Does he have buyback? Yes, he does. Buyback, goal, and timer ready to go. Eric getting Mana Burn, gets Roar. He's going to get burst down, but the mech comes in with a heal. Xiao Tucci, BKB up, and he's going to work. Look at those RNGesus crits. Oh my god, they're blowing everybody up. Barrett's going to get blown as well. Look at this. And now the high ground is completely broken. No more Roar, no more mech. And it's all go time. But Xiao Tucci, BKB runs out. He's low.
He's got Aegis. They can go again. And the beautiful thing is they didn't go on Sylar. Sylar, no haunt for him. So even if he buys back, not going to be that scary of a buyback. They'll work on the tower again. XDD, he surges in. He's looking for a vacuum. This could be the first lane of Rax for Rising Stars. If they can execute this push properly, they'll jump in now. Xiao Wei dropping fast. Two heroes vacuum back. He'll go down. Xiao Tuji, he's going to die. But he's got Aegis. He comes back after these messages. Bottle from air, dropped and then denied. I'm not sure what's going on. But in the meantime, tower's going to fall. Xiao Tuji, he'll back off. 1,700 gold. They've only gotten the tower.
He picked up the gem, that's why.
Oh, he's picked up the gem. That makes a lot more sense. Denies the bottle just to punish LGD even further. And now a slow on Xiao Wei. No roar for him. No haunt for LGD. Hard to fight. Hard to run. There's your pipe again. A blink. And where's the crit? Where's the boom shakalaka? Doesn't find
Buys
it.
back.
Doesn't need it. Buyback from Sylar, but no haunt. Not really that scary of a buyback. They'll try to go in with the bear here. There's no BKB. Actually, there is a BKB on Xiao Tuji. He's got it again. Air. Well, he's entangled. He's rooted. He'll go down, but look for
Jesus.
the BKB. He's down now, I think, the 5 seconds. He's actually going to run. Not sure if he'll get away. Grave Chill on XDD. Is LGD actually defending? They might just be doing it. Stun. Catches two. Xiao Tuji's low. He needs a way out. Is there a relocate? Not used just yet. In fact, he's going to man up. Wisp, save me, my friend. No relocate from Mofi. He'll go down. Now being chased. He'll try to TP out. Buyback from Xiao Tuji to no end. No backup there from the Wisp. The Wisp will fall. No relocate.
They got themselves a mid-rax, but I'm not sure whether mid-rax is really enough because they use Aegis, they use a buyback, which I guess was a mistake. Actually, it was a big mistake. He finds himself a double damage. I don't think he's going to hunt for any solo kills, or if he does, he's going to find anybody, but
It was pretty clear that he thought Wisp would get away and then could relocate back in and find some kills, but wasn't the case.
I want to say, hey, Sylar uses buyback as well, but because he's got so many kills in the team fight, look at his goal. He's got his Manta in like 100, and he's going to buy it because he got no buyback.
That was also a buyback without Haunt. I feel for Sylar, that was a bit of a blunder from him, not using Haunt that early, but
well,
it worked, because obviously Spectre isn't that great when she buys back without it, but it worked out.
She just literally waltzed in and still got a couple kills, so it wasn't the most flashiest of buyback, but it still did its job. And was it a Pyrrhic victory for Rising Star?
It's like, it's on the border, right? I
Right.
mean, it was close. I think they still come out ahead there. They do get the first lane of Rax. Remember, they've got the Wisp. So you have Wisp, middle lane's always pushing in. Someone from LGD always has to go defend that. So easy to run a smoke gank down the mid lane, so easy to relocate anyone. If you see one hero farming, say, bottom lane, and then you see just one or two mid, you can try and go on them. So I still think Rising Stars come out ahead there, but like you said, it's just not an overwhelming victory. And, well, Yao's getting closer to an Assault Cuirass. He's got a Hyperstone, a Plate Mail as well. 40 minutes in, how much does it matter? Hard to say against a PA who's this farm, but every little bit helps.
Yeah, also, the way that the team fight started last time for Rising Star, that was an ideal start. The Dragonite got roared, and the mech came off from Wisp.
And the pipe as well.
Yeah, the big thing is LG need to kill the Wisp ASAP and hope that he doesn't have buyback, which he doesn't. And looks like he's going to be going for 4 staff. It's not going to be
just a casual Vit booster.
Rod of Aoi.
I mean, this is probably the smarter item overall, because LGD, they have a good chasing lineup. This also lets you push your PA even a bit farther into the fight.
When they get roared, that's a big deal, like when they're facing the other way. But I'm sure Aoi would disagree with the 4 staff, because that's what he does.
It's not a Rod of Atos, that's for sure. So, well, we now head 38 minutes in. Level 16 up on air. Has his level 3 Elder Dragon form. Not going for the level 17 or 18 one that we've seen a few times in this tournament. That's where things get a bit scary. Now Dragon Knight can start to be your secondary DPS. He's not going to do much to, say, the Spectre, the Lone Druid, but the other heroes can definitely chip away at them and also just keep them in range for Xiao Tuji to finish them off.
So my question to you is, if you're in Rising Star's position, do you wait for the third Aegis?
I think at this point you do. You've gotten one lane of Rex. Mid lane's going to be pushing in. It's coming soon. And the other thing is you don't want to lose a fight now and give away an Aegis and a cheese to LGD. That's where the game almost falls apart for you.
So if you do wait for the Aegis, there is going to be buyback on Sylar. You're dealing with a very coming soon on Yao's AC.
I mean, you and Assault Kuras coming soon.
You get 2 extra lives in a team fight, but you're also dealing with arguably an extra life and a 2, because the bear is going to be a lot more effective. So is it more just a wash if you wait?
Well, there's no buyback on that bear.
Sure. There's a resummon, so it's hard to say. I don't know. I'm not sure what to do here for Rising Star. I'm not sure what is the correct decision.
I think you just go for Roche. You take Roche. You can barrel down the bottom lane again. I think you just played a little bit more safely. You try and bait out the Haunt. You don't really commit to the fight. And you also use a relocate strategically. We didn't see a relocate to save anyone's life in that fight.
Have we even seen a relocate at all this game?
I don't think so. Maybe.
They just want him for the tether heal, man.
It's still good, but I mean, yeah, I feel like this is where, again, you can have a few heroes pushing out one lane. You can have the Wisp relocate gank there, and you have that PA as one of the 2 heroes pushing out one side of the map. She's not going to die. You're probably not blowing up Dragon Knight from full HP before he gets off his BKB. Relocate, mech comes in, Pipe is there because Darkseer will probably be in the 3 heroes that are pushing lane, and you could just turn the fight around. So, again, it doesn't feel like they know how to use the combo quite as efficiently as some of the Western teams, but I still feel like in the chaos of that big final push towards the bottom lane, you go for your second lane of Rax. That's where the Wisp can save a hero, bring them back at full HP, or a hero can buy back and be brought back into the fight, and you can completely turn it around. And speaking of that, Xiao Tuji, no buyback yet, but he'll have it soon.
What do you think Xiao Tuji's next item choice will be? I mean, he's got basically everything he needs to win a game, but the game hasn't... Like, normally this is your end game set, right? You're done with the game by now.
I mean, I think you want something like a Manta style here. You're up against Entangle. That can really ruin you in the fights.
Grave Shield, that's a big one.
Yeah,
too.
your BKB is only 5 seconds. I would say Manta for Xiao Tuji. I mean, maybe saving for buyback outside of that.
Yeah, there's no evasion coming out, so you don't need things like MKB.
I do want to point out, Xiao Tuji's being eclipsed in terms of farm pretty heavily, and if the game goes late, this is where the Radiance pays off.
I mean, he's still winning.
Big smoke. Here we go. Xiao Tuji will lead the way. Actually, sorry, it's a level 3 Dragon form. Xiao Tuji jumps in. Didn't get off his BKB. Does he need it? Doesn't look like it. The crit lord is in the house. 2 are going to melt very quickly. Buyback from the Nyx. Now the Dragon slowing everyone down. The Bear trying to body block. Can't do it. Sylar, he might go down here. He'll get bashed. He's going to get blown up. Xiao Tuji absolutely out of his mind with these crits. They're not done yet. Mofi's giving chase. Where's the relocate gank to find an extra hero? Not going for it yet. I think they could have had more, but they're worried about the Nyx buyback. They don't want to overextend. And truth be told, there's no BKB on PA. So actually, the safer play, the right play from Rising Stars.
Yeah, I just want you to click on Xiao A right now and look at the fact that Mech is still up, Roar is still up. He literally did nothing in that team fight. And I think that's why LG has lost it so badly. You drop off a Roar, the push, the stun, and as well as your Spectre feeling more freely to right-click because there's mech armor. That could have been a little bit more different. It could have been a little bit more even.
Oh, no.
But now they give up Aegis and Cheese for free. But the good thing is that they didn't have to use a buyback yet on the Spectre, and you will possibly still have it for the next team fight.
And for Rising Stars, this is where you wait for the Dragon form to cool down, and I think you just go again. You'll have your Heaven's Halberd on air. That's going to be very annoying.
I think they go now. If you force a buyback from Spectre, that's a big win, right?
He's up in 12th, though. And there's going to be a glyph, so I don't think it's going to be enough. Maybe if they can find a pick-off here. They'll go now. No Dragon form for 40 seconds. He does have the cheese, but LGD, they don't want to fight. They're worried about this PA. Up. Not going to go in. They'll just work on the range rack. So they'll take the safer X, and then I think Spectre's now up again. Spectre has buyback as well. This is where you just want to slow roll it, Lumi. You don't have to force the issue too much.
You don't. You really don't. But the impending clock that is known as Spectre is just breathing down.
I still feel there's a lot of time on it. PA wins that man fight with BKB.
I don't know. Not with BKB and buyback, or not with buyback on Sylar.
She certainly wins round 1 of the fight.
Yeah, she does.
And Xiao Tuji has buyback and even a Wisp buyback on his side, so he's got 2 lives as well.
Right, they will have to double buyback if the team fight goes poorly and go for it.
Here comes your Dragon form. Sylar's going to get stunned. Remember, he's got buyback. He's baiting this to a certain extent, hoping that they'll commit heavily. They even use the BKB. This could be a blunder going for Sylar this heavily. They'll bring him down with the Abyssal Blade, but he's going to buy back immediately. Xiao Tuji, there's your buyback. Here comes your Haunt. Is it going to be enough? Hard to say right now. Chaos in the middle of the fight. Xiao Tuji critting everyone. 2 down. down. He wants more. Can he find it? Sylar is alive here. Xiaotuji bashes him. Is he going to win the man fight, though? He's dropping pretty fast. He'll go down. No, not before Sylar. Yes, before Sylar. He's still got the Aegis, though. He's going to come back.
From Wisp. He's actually in the back of the team fight, and that's what really will allow them. There's a GG call. It looked really bad from Rising Star because they used double BKB. They used the Abyssal stun, but the Aegis on PA as well as the Wisp buyback
and the
sealed the
cheese.
deal.
The cheese. They had 2 lives on their carries.
They had everything.
Didn't need the BKBs. Great play from Rising Stars. Lumi, I thought they were maybe going to choke a little bit under the pressure. You have this big lead against LGD, but they're the Titans. They're the big boss, the final boss of this tournament, at least in terms of recent results. The team that was invited lost their invite. Rising Stars jump out to a quick 1-0, and, well, we did call it in the sense that it's all about if Rising Stars get that pocket Wisp. They get it here, and they use it. I don't even think they use the Wisp that well, but LGD was terrified of it.
I think they used the PA very well early game. That's what they allowed them to steamroll completely out of control. Got double kills, 2 towers, rotated mid. And it's just actually so hard to defend PA mid when she has a start. She jumps on you, and what do you do with Bear?
I mean, you saw that Bear died from like 3/4 HP to a crit and a couple of auto attacks. And I don't feel the Wisp was used to its full extent here, but I think LGD was just scared of the Wisp. I mean, you saw them, and you mentioned multiple times, sat in the base, they weren't farming. Rising Stars slowly, methodically, they pull ahead. They take game 1. It's a best of 3, though. Gods, Purge, what do you think?
Well, I think we've just seen one of the bigger upsets of the tournament so far. LGD, it's just game 1. They still have game 2, game 3 to look to bounce back, but what a way to start things off for Rising Stars.
Yeah, I absolutely love the draft from Rising Stars. When I was watching the gameplay happen, I just felt like all the heroes really fit together perfectly. I mean, think about PA. First of all, you can jump on Lone Druid really easily in the lane. As that scales in the late game, you have natural evasion. You don't have to spend any money on that, which counters the Bear, so the Bear can't really focus the PA very well until he gets MKB, which is a very late game scenario. And then past that, they got a mid hero who can do pretty well. He can help with the early pushing with the level 1 Dragon form. You can take towers. And then in the mid to late game, it doesn't have to be PA that gets jumped on. I mean, how many times is a Dragonite that got nuked? He got slightly out of position. They would throw the nukes on Dragonite, but he has naturally much more armor than the PA. Just like everything came together so well and allowed the PA to just go dive really deep.
Everyone was just naturally tanking that. Well, the 2 front lines, the DK, the PA. If DK did get jumped on, there was the Wisp with the tether mech. You had the just Wisp keeping people alive in the fights. I mean, they mentioned that Wisp, you hardly even saw relocate, but it feels like the way Rising Stars use Wisp is just about the tether, the shared heals, and just dominating the early game laning stage. They managed to get, you talk about the early towers, they took 5 towers in the first like 15, 20 minutes of the game.
It was crazy. It was so many. I mean, and that helped with the Enchantress as well. They take the first tower, they killed a Bear twice. I was talking to Gods about this while we were watching the first match, how great Stifling Dagger is versus Lone Druid, because if you can kill the Bear early, I mean, if you look at any other typical tri-lane, you have Chaos Knights and like Venomancers or single target stuns that kind of cost a lot of mana, and they put a lot of focus towards killing the Bear, but PA, it's nothing. You spend 40 mana, you slow the Bear by 50% for like 3 to 4 seconds, and it gets you so much damage potential. You get a fast phase boost. They could just kill the Bear, rinse, repeat. Lone Druid can't do that matchup, and that's why he just got absolutely shut down there, and they got free kills.
Yeah, I think the other big interesting point for me where LG maybe went wrong was somewhat the draft. This is the first time they've ever actually ran an offlane Lone Druid, as far as I could tell from all our stats. Yao playing it, and then they mix that in with a Spectre. Do you feel having Spectre and Lone Druid in the same lineup just gave them too weak of a lanes early on?
I mean, it does. I wouldn't say the lanes are necessarily bad. I think the matchup was bad for the Lone Druid versus PA, but the only other thing that I see as a problem there is when you get into mid-game team fights, if Lone Druid gets shut down, he's got nothing. And he even skipped boots. He was going armlet before boots because his bearer was just so underfarmed. So it put him in a really bad spot. They got behind early, and they couldn't even team fight to contest the 3rd, 4th, 5th tower.
And it's like you say, you need something like an MKB later on to deal with the PA, and then DK ultimately picks up a Heaven's Howl, but you're not getting an MKB as an offlane Lone Druid. I think maybe you just want Sylar on that Lone Druid that game. But
I think you're maybe right, but you also look at it, they really made things a lot harder on themselves because they didn't just get the first blood on the Lone Druid. They also got the Nyx Assassin forced to TP for him. That gave Darkseer more space top. And then Xiao A comes in. He wastes time, not mid. Tier 1 drops quickly as well. So I feel like I was okay with it, but not when they give up that many kills. And that's where just don't seem to respect Wisp or know how to play defensively enough against it.
Yeah, I just want to get the analyst's opinion on how close of a 15,000 goal lead was that game. Because remember that team fight where Xiao A did nothing?
Yeah.
Like, if the team fight went a little bit better, if they traded evenly, if they didn't give up a free Aegis and cheese, I think we would be still casting this game right now.
I think it had the potential.
Yeah.
I think it had the potential to go really long. So your 60+ minute game. I know you were talking about one of the first pushes that came out from Rising Stars when LG held it off, and you're like, LG has got this. I don't think it was quite at that point. They were still behind by 10k plus gold, but it wasn't a case where in Rising Stars book it was in the books for them. The problem was Spectre, he went Radiance first as well, which also made him a lot squishy. So every fight he was just getting blown up to start things off. He needed more farm, he needed to progress later. I feel like Rising Stars, even though they did have a bit of a hard time breaking the high ground, they never really looked like they were it never really looked like LGD were back in the game quite yet. It looked like it could turn over, but it never did.
Yeah, I think the linchpin for the first 2 pushes being successful is that Spectre would feel safe in his positioning, and the Darkseer would always make a play. They would vacuum him 300 units closer to the enemy team, and then the Dragon Tail would come in, land the 2.5 second stun, and that's when they got to focus down Sylar. And that happened twice in the first 2 fights. I felt LGD honestly did excellent defending. Like, they made the game go that long. It was impressive, but I mean, eventually you're going to have a fight that doesn't go quite ideally, and when your opponents have that much of a gold advantage, it just shuts the game down. So I think they did a great job.
Well, that's game 1, guys. We'll be back with game 2 soon. LGD, the favorites of this qualifier, have their backs against the wall. We're going to see if they can come back, take game 2, take game 3 as well after a quick break.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. It's time for Game 2 of LGD China versus Rising Stars. In a bit of a shocker, Rising Stars are the ones leading this best of 3, 1-0. I'm LD, he's Lumi. Draft now underway, Lumi. And off the bat, we see a Wisp ban.
Not shocking to me, considering that I say, hey, 2-1
That doesn't
LGD.
surprise anyone.
2-1 LGD, considering the fact that they have all the time in the world to prepare for a strat. Ban out the Wisp. Wisp wasn't the big factor for me. Okay, Tether was doing stuff early game, got some Wisp balls in people's faces. It was PA snowballing out of control. You cannot give a PA phase, drums, Vlads, BKB before 20 minutes, before 25, something like that.
She had phase drums at like 9 minutes.
Yeah, something crazy.
And then the Vlads came like 3 or 4 minutes later. The BKB, I think 18, 19 minutes.
Yeah, and I don't think that was a winning recipe at all.
No.
So
generally that's going to be tough.
Right. maybe I was respecting Spectre's power a little bit too much in terms of what she can do, or kind of underrating Xiao A's performance. But in any case, we're in game number 2 right now, and I expect LG to play a lot more solidly. None of that lone drill long lane and hope things go well kind of situation.
Well, I mean, like God said, not something that LGD is accustomed to running. I think that's the big thing. I thought the lone drill offlane worked well in terms of